I'm not a person that I particularly enjoy introduction. Whenever I have to write something, I just pour my thoughts into the thing and then I start maybe working with that, working with the middle part, and the introduction is the last thing that I always do because I never know how to start. I never know which could be a good introductions to something. However, I enjoy when a book, a project, something has this first line that hooks you up. So I decided that the easier thing for me to do to show you who I really am, what my likes are, and what you can find over here could be this tag that I've seen on YouTube, and it's the Newbie book tag questions. I really liked seeing those videos, and I thought that would be the best introduction that I could make here, because this is the first video, even though you might come from my Instagram or from other places that you followed me before. This is going to be different, so I'm going to start with the tag, and I'm going to tell you as much as I can about myself, what my likes, what do I like, what do I like to do, what do I like to read, and what this channel is going to focus about. So the first question is, for me, it's the hardest question is, who are you? So I'm Patrice. I live in Spain. I'm an English and modern philologist. I have 2 degrees. I have the modern languages degree and an English study degree. And I'm someone who started navigating her 30s. I turned 30 this year and it's been weird. I have so many changes and I'm someone who likes to read. I like quiet time. I don't particularly enjoy parties, or I'm an introvert. Well, I will say I'm an ambivert. I'm a person who is an introvert, but I can be an extrovert if I need to. And that's it, basically. I like to write, I like to read, I like to walk. I love going into the country. I love going to the countryside and walking and enjoying the nature. Where do you live? I live in Spain, specifically in the Canary Island. I don't know if I'm going to be living in the Canary Island for too long. I would love to move to the mainland. That's my plan. I have projects that I want to develop and I need to be there. But currently I'm in the Canary Island. I won't say which island, but yeah, it's a small and beautiful place. I would say it's a beautiful place, but it has its own beauty. You can't compare it to a bigger place or like northern Spain or the Great Britain or Germany. It's quite different, and it's calm, it's warm most of the time, it's sunny. I have a lot of sun all year round. So yeah, I live here. Why did you start this YouTube channel? So the easiest answer would be I wanted to pursue more creative endeavors. So I wanted to be more creative. I wanted to share, and I needed people to connect. I wanted to connect with people who had my same taste, who also loved not only books but books similar to mine. And I wanted to share. I'm full of thoughts, I'm full of ideas, I'm full of content that I want to create and share. That's why I did it, because I felt that short-term format is not for me. I don't mind doing it, actually. I like to consume short-term format, but I love to spend 10 minutes just talking about one character in one book. So yeah, I'm a talker. I love to talk, and I love to wonder when talking. So I needed a space where I could talk endlessly about something that I loved, and I didn't have an algorithm telling me that I needed to shorten my video, that I need to um, condense all that thoughts and information and all that love for that book in just 1 minute, but because they wouldn't promote it, they wouldn't share it to other people that might be interested. So, and I always wanted to have a YouTube channel. I tried to do it, but those weren't the right time for me. Because I was in between things. I didn't know what I wanted to share. I didn't want to be exposed to the internet, so I didn't want to be seen. I wanted to be behind the scenes. This for me was being too exposed outside, and this is completely outside of my comfort zone. But I don't know, I really want to do this, and let's see if I stick it with it. So what am I excited for? I would say, honestly, to connect with other people that love the same books that I love, or love the same things that I love. Because even though I'm doing this bookish tag, and it's everything going to be mainly about books, I also want to share things about beauty, history, some of my academic endeavors. I'm writing a book. I think this is the second time I've said it all out loud. I'm writing a book. I don't know if I'm going to publish it, but I'm writing it, and that's something that I want to share. I want to be able to connect and talk to other people that are going through the same things. I'm doing the same things that I do, or that maybe they're doing some other things that can be so interesting, and they can share them with me. So I would say just to connect. And also, maybe you're wondering, Patricia, if you're Spanish, why are you speaking in English? Even though, why are you making this channel in English? Why are you making all your content in English? Even though my spoken English isn't perfect, but it's okay, it's alright, I'll get by. I want to practice my spoken English. I want to reach as many people as I can. I want to make mistakes speaking. I want to continue improving my English. So this is another of the things why I'm doing this. So what books got me into reading? This is a tricky question, because I would say it would be fantasy, classics, and books about adventures. So I was an incredibly lucky child who had parents and family that make her fall in love with stories, with history, with books. My parents, even though they were exhausted because they were working all the time, each night they read me a book. And I remember my father read me The Arabian Nights, he read me Beowulf, he read me The Three Musketeers. My mother always read me Little Women or A Christmas Carol when it was Christmas. So I can't tell you exactly which book got me into reading, but I will say books about adventures, about fantasy, about dragons, and about little women pursuing the things that little women sisters pursuing the things that they loved. And Christmas carols. Also, my mom read me. She bought this beautiful edition of Peter Rabbit that was one of my favorite books. So I've read almost everything. I would say my father would teach me how to read. Well, my parents actually teach me how to read. My grandmother she gave me Anne of Green Gables, and I also have those books from my mother. Those are my very prized possession. We read together. I remember watching The Lord of the Rings when I was a child, and then reading them, or reading The Hobbit or something like that. So that might be the kind of books. Then I read, I think the title is Around the World in 80 Days, or El Cantar de Mio Cid, which is epic poetry, Spanish epic poetry. So those would be the books that got me into reading. And every fantasy book, I remember I devoured every single book about dragons and knights and magic and something like that. Then I started reading classics. I started reading when I was 13. I remember my grandmother told me that she wanted to watch with me Pride and Prejudice, the BBC adaptation, and I fell in love with that adaptation. So she said, "Oh, if you like the TV series, you should read the book." So I read the book, and then I needed more. And she also had Sense and Sensibility, she had Persuasion, she had them, she had every book. And then I read Wuthering Heights, and that was a completely different kind of book, completely different to everything that I've read before. So I will say those were the books that actually helped me get into my English degree, that made me pursue this English degree. And now I mostly just read classics, history books. I don't know, I like Philip Pullman's book. I would love to read the last book. I also, I don't know, I like to read books that some people recommend, something that might be out of my comfort zone. Which one would be the last book that I read? I'm currently reading Katabasis. I really like Rebecca Kuang. I have some things to say about her. I don't think she's perfect, but I love her stories. I love her way of telling stories. I don't know. I'm actually a pretty basic reader, I will say. Sometimes I read books that are different to what I usually read. I'm an extremely curious person. If I'm recommended a classic from another country, I will love to read that to see which kind of themes, genre talked about. For example, the Spanish literature and English literature, Scottish, Irish, German, Russian, everything is so different. Now I'm trying to broaden my books, the kind of books that I read. So yeah, as you can see here, I don't do short answers, so bear with me. Challenges in Booktube that are hard to overcome, or what are you nervous about in this channel? What I'm nervous about in this channel, that might be consistency or being lazy. And by being lazy, let me explain. Let me put an example, okay? So, I don't mind a book haul, okay? I don't mind seeing the books that other people buys. What I don't like is that each of the YouTube videos in that channel are book hauls. I want you to talk about the book. I want you to film a blog. I want to see your reactions while reading it. So maybe that would be being lazy, because, sometimes you don't have the time to read a book, to produce the content that people need, because that's something that I see, that people need constant content, and you don't have the time to do it. So sometimes there are certain types of content that are easier. I don't want to do, or maybe I don't know, that people don't like my content, for example, that they don't like what I have to say about the books, or I say something stupid, something like that. But it is what it is. When did you start reading? So, as I said before, I started reading quite young. Actually, I was 4 years old when I started reading. My parents taught me how to read. No, I haven't stopped reading since I was a child. Maybe there has been times where I haven't read as many books as I would like. There are years that I've read only 2 books, for example. But maybe because I had university, I had other things going on. I just didn't have the time to read book a month or something like that. But I've never stopped reading. I read all my life since my parents taught me how to read. Where do you like to read? Everywhere. I like to read in bed. I like to read in a coffee shop. I like to read waiting for the doctor appointment. I like to read. Well, I would love to read on a plane, on a train, and on a car, but I always get seasick and dizzy and very sick, so I can't do that. That's why I might try use audiobooks, although I'm not a fan. As for now, I haven't tried as much as I should to be able to form an opinion about that, but I love to read everywhere. Actually, I go to coffee shops to read. I read whenever I'm waiting for someone. I always have a book with me. If I don't have a book, I have my Kindle. I read everywhere. In the kitchen, in my bedroom, outside, in a bench, at the gym sometimes. What do you like to read? I think that I also answered this before, but the quick answer will be almost everything that catches my eye. I love to read fantasy. I love to read classics. I love spy novels. I just love spy novels, and I'm reading some Japanese spy novels that are so good. There are no spy novels, sorry, they're police, more like police detective-esque. Is that a word? I don't know. Works. I don't know, books about academia, for example. The dark academia genre is not that bad. As I said, I'm currently reading Katabasis. I'm in the middle also of reading the I don't remember the name of the saga. It's this Brandon Sanderson, The Radiant something. I read The Way of Kings. I read Radiant Words, and I'm reading Outbringer. I think it's Outbringer the name, because I'm reading them in Spanish. I don't remember the name, so I'm going to put it over there. What do I want to read? Things that I find enjoyable. And with this, I say, because I have 2 degrees, and both of them I had mandatory readings, and I also worked in a publishing house for a short amount of time. I had to read things that I didn't enjoy. So I would love to read more classics around the world. I would love to read more fantasy, and also I would love to read more non-fiction, history-related books. I found this author, I think she's called Barbara Tuchman. I read The Guns of August, and that was amazing. One of the best history book I've read in my entire life. I don't know how people unrecommended that book. That was amazing. That was a book about the World War One. Just the beginning was exceptional. I think she won a Pulitzer, and that she was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I want to read more books about her. And I want to read more medieval literature. I would love to specialize in medieval literature. I would love to do a master's on that, and maybe a PhD. There are some themes that I would love to research more about. So want to read more medieval literature, more history books about certain periods of time, etc. What does my collection look like? So I'm going to show you in a minute, but let me tell you, this was bigger than it was now. And the reason is I had a huge problem with mold. And mold and books, they don't work together very well. So I had to throw away 3/4 of my book collection, and I cried for a week because that was painful and I still haven't recovered. I'm cleaning my bookshelves and my books every single week, and I'm scared of that happening again. I think it's because of the place where I live. The place, meaning the Canary Islands, it's very humid and there's a lot of dust in the air. So and also the house I was in, there I think there was humidity in the walls, and that went into my bookshelves, that went to my books. So yes, I will show you in a minute, but yeah, just so you know, I had more books, but I'm planning on buying more of the books that I love and buying more books. I try to be a conscious buyer. I buy books that I know that I'm going to reread or that I want to have in my bookshelves. In other cases, I just use my Kindle. Okay, so I think this is going to be one of these shakes. Well, not one of these shakes video on the internet, but it's okay. So I'm going to show you this mess. Okay, as you can see those things, I don't have the space for them, and I need to throw some things out. So as I have to buy more books because I have space. Okay, I have so much space. I will have those things there, and I will keep them out of my video so you don't see them. But here you have some of my cloth-bound classics and some other penguin classics and some different books. This is not pretty organized. So this is one of my perfumes of a brand that I loved, and my Oxford World Classics, my Penguin Library Classics, I think, the Penguin Modern Classics, and some books, extra books. So maybe I can make an in-depth video about all of this. I have some of my Tolkien's and some Spanish books, some Funko. And yeah, most of them are classics, and some fiction that I'm interested in, some books that are going to go. The Hamlet book, that book is going to go. It's been sitting in my bookshelf for 5 years now, and I don't even want to read it. So maybe there is someone out there that really wants to read that book. So I guess that will be all. I don't know, maybe there are more questions, but I think the videos, depending on the person, the question will be different. So I just picked and choose what I wanted to answer. And yeah, that's it, everything. So we hopefully will see each other pretty soon. I'm working on some content, the content that I want to create. Okay, this is not something about the book tag. This is the content that I want to create is mostly, I want to talk about books, yeah, but I also want to talk about other things that are interesting me. I want to talk about some things that I'm watching. I love history, I love fashion, but fashion in the sense of not trends. I love heritage brands. I love tailoring. I just love tailoring and clothes and some I have so many passions, so I want to share them all with you. I would love to create reading blogs if that's something that you like. And I don't know if you want something from me, if you have any suggestion or things that you would love to see, I'm all ears. Thank you very much for being with me. I think this is going to be an hour long video, but yeah, thank you very much and have a good day.